Hello friends, now I explain the concept number 15 in the Java concept board. This is calling system defined default constructor when the user defined argument construct is defined in the class, which leads to error. Actually, in this context, I have to tell you one very important point. While learning concepts, wherever context comes and all that, we have to learn the error prone areas also, because debugging is a very costly affair, because it consumes time. You are annoyed with the debugging and all that. Time is money. Because of that, the cost of the software is increased. So along with our study of concepts and all that, we have to focus on error prone areas. There is a saying, who is the good driver? A good driver is who can avert accidents smartly, is the good driver. In our programming concepts, who is the real professional programmer means who can avert a bug smartly is an efficient programmer. Many people write code and all that, but they may not be so efficient in debugging. Debugging consumes a lot of time and all that. That's why, along with our studies, studying concepts, let us focus on error prone areas. Once you notice that, you can avert it very easily and all that. So, here what we are doing, we are calling system defined default constructor when we defined user defined argument constructor. You see this code, simply seeing that you can understand that this is user defined argument constructor, the corresponding constructor we have defined here. Okay, in room 4 class we defined it, and here for R5 what we are calling, R5 is we are calling system defined default constructor. Actually, I commented it out. If I don't comment it out, and it leads to error, it leads to error. This point you have to remember. Then how can we avert it? If we have to avert it and all that, a simple thing. In this, in this, along with the user defined argument constructor, you have to define uh, user defined default constructor. How the user defined default constructor? Now you see, default constructor means you know that no argument constructor. Simply this, what you call, this is user defined default constructor. Then when you define user defined default constructor, then if you remove the comment lines also, it works. Now as a result of that, the program works. Now you see room 4, as far as room 4 are concerned, the values are 20 and 15 are printed, and R5 is concerned, the values 0 and 0 are printed. Why 0 and 0? Already in previous concepts I explained that the default value of integer data type, int data type, is 0. The default values 0 and 0 are printed. In this context, you may get a doubt where this is required. Where this is required and all that, don't think at this stage. Actually, you can compare this learning language is like a toolkit. A language is like a toolkit. When we are learning a concept means we are learning about a tool, its functionalities and limitations. At this stage, our focus should be on a particular tool. What are its functionalities? What are its limitations? We have to understand limitations also. You should know this is a limitation. This is a limitation. You must understand that. In which domain it is required and all that, this is the too early. So in a particular situation, your problem domain, programming domain, may demand this type of situation. Then in such case you have to use, it leads to error. Then how to avert error and all that? Then this is the thing. So I am concluding this concept. Whenever user defined argument constructor is defined for a class, then we should not call system defined default constructor. If we have to, your program domain demands it, system defined default constructor also, then what you have to do? You have to define user defined default constructor in the same class. Then you can avert the error, both will work. As consequently, now see, for room 4 2015 are printed, and room 5 00 are printed.